to mathematically lock himself in for tonight. So pretty much all he has to do is finish the race, and he has locked himself in. So we are pretty much going to be looking at Hunter Carson, Jonathan Burt, Tony Brent, Chavez, Michael Thorpe Jr., as well as William Duff.
I think he was talking about me there.
Drivers that are 5th through 8th in the standings will then be fighting alongside the drivers.
It doesn't really matter. We got 11 cars
in the 5th through 12th in the standings, to be more precise.
Championship night, we're gonna have like 4.
Going to see which of the 2 drivers are going to be in the final.
Not a lot of people showing up
for tonight. Let's go ahead and throw it down trackside as these drivers are just now getting onto the grid. There's a quick look at the facility for next week, heading to the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But this is where we are at tonight, and this is your starting grid. It is Brian McCann on the front row once again. Michael Thorpe Jr., second place, and only just under a tenth of a second behind. So he can provide a pretty good challenge for Brian McCann going into tonight's event, especially off of the race start. Sitting on row number 2, it will be Cameron Sarton. He has locked himself in. He has pretty much nothing to worry about, so he is safe going into tonight. Hunter Karsten looking to cement his spot in the final
the track hot,
if you will.
Oh, 133. No wonder.
In 4th place. Could that be a sign, or just...
That explains that.
Jonathan Burt will roll off in the 5th place position.
There's like no grip out here.
David McConnell starts off in 6th.
And the setup is super tight.
The number 26.
Like it plows like a lawnmower with a snow plow attached to the back of it.
Actually, so he qualified 8th, but he will by default be starting in last. Then Larry Griffin and Ryan Lynch qualified 9th and 10th, and Doug Pierce did not set a qualifying time, as he will start in 11th.
Got to drive it funny too.
Ready to go. Green flag racing here for tonight.
4 tires over the wall. 100 laps
on the board. The stage ends at lap number 25.
The right front is going to be mad.
Which of these drivers will be
real mad?
It's effectively McCann, even though he technically hasn't mathematically secured his spot yet. Well, he pretty much has, especially with how he has ran.
Oh, faster.
He has ran. We'll get into the details of that here.
A computer that's glitching.
In a few laps time.
I can keep going.
But first, let's give the drivers a chance to sort everything out here on the main start, because the green flag is about to fly here at the virtual Auto Club Speedway. We're racing here. 100 laps on the board.
Don't hit me. Damn, he's pinching me down hard. You can't drive down here.
There, hold your line.
He really wants that first place. Oh my goodness.
Still there.
I see around the outside it is Michael Thorpe Jr. putting up a fight against the number 8 of Brian McCann as they go through turns 3 and 4.
I can't fight him here. I got to save tire.
Swings around the outside, slides off turn 4, but
this is a tire saving race. I can't race like that.
Off 8, and
you can have it.
Lead the first lap here at the virtual Auto Club Speedway. Great.
I'll just have to beat him on tire.
Michael Thorpe Jr. All he has to do is carry this momentum. And in fact, with where everybody's running now, let's take a look. Well, that's a live championship.
Which I don't think it'd be hard to do. This setup track combo is.
The final will get your timing tower
crazy
in a few moments' time. As things stand right now, if Michael Thorpe Jr. were to win this race, it would be a 4-point difference, I think, regardless, between Hunter Karsten and Jonathan Burt. William Duff is the driver in a must-win situation. After missing the starting grid, it's not going to be the most helpful for him.
Give him a little scare.
There is still a chance that a lot can happen. We do have pit stops, we do have strategy, so we'll see how things pan out here. Let's go ahead and get this up for the moment. The current running order up on the left-hand side of your screen. Despite starting it from pit road, William Duff isn't too far back. He was very lucky with where he was let out. I believe this week, a bit of a gray paint. Do a little bit of weight saving.
It's the last round of 8.
Number 17.
So 4 cars get eliminated after tonight to make it round of 4 for the next 2 races after this one.
There is no such thing as weight saving paint in iRacing. It's just a
And how's it going, Derek?
little bit of good luck change, no doubt.
His right front's going to be dead by 10 laps.
Down the back straightaway we go. Hunter Carson lurks in the 3rd place position. Jonathan Burt maybe looking to capitalize on running the lower line against Hunter Carson.
I'm not locked in, but all I got to do is finish the race.
5th and
Which
has moved up a couple positions. Same goes for Hunter Karsten. It is Cameron Sutton, who shockingly is a little bit left on the back foot here. He started off in the 3rd place spot, but has fallen back a couple positions. But to be fair, he doesn't really even need to race this week. He doesn't have to put too much of a fight. He is fine. He is safe. So not much to worry about for the number 1 machine. Although that's not to say wins don't mean a single thing. Because if we do win, if he does win again, then he can get some extra points. Well, some extra playoff points, more accurately. That could help him heading into the championship.
Oh, that's Hunter behind me.
We still have 95 laps to go, and Cameron Sutton is looking for a little bit of a spot off turn number 4, but decided against that move there off of the corner, so he fell back in line with Jonathan Burt. They'll try again through turns 1 and 2, riding the inside lane. He does have the momentum. Jonathan Burt was able to carry it off of turn 2. Now, this is intriguing. Cameron Sarton is already saving. He is thinking long term, and I don't blame him. He doesn't have much to worry about, so he can afford. He is able to afford to do something a little bit different.
43.027.
Looks like that is working in his favor. Yes, he moves to the inside off turn 4, turn 2, way down the inside on the back stretch, but moves up to 4th place at the end of the day as they enter turn number 3.
Yeah, I'm just riding.
Once again, the driver's in
Around about lap 10 or 12, it should be enough of a difference where I can easily pass him.
in green.
Right now, I just hate to do it and burn up my tire.
Confirm locked in if you are
I might have to do it here anyway.
very mathematically locked in if you are Brian McCann. In fact, this goes into the conversation earlier as well, which I was about to get into. Even if Brian McCann, as he moves to the inside, would take the lead through turns 3 and 4, even if Brian McCann were to finish in 11th, that would be 26 points. He is...
See, that's a problem. I can't pass in 3 and 4. I got to pass...
locking himself in.
Still there.
I got to get a run out of 3 and 4 and pass him into 1.
I'll give it officially at this point, because, well...
He's taking a completely different line than I am.
It's more than enough.
Still there.
So we can, as they'll go side by side.
Unless I can drag race him out of this turn.
Traffic up a little bit later because this race for first is definitely starting to get a little bit heated between these two. You see the point difference there. If Michael Thorpe were to not win this race, he would be 10 points shy of Jonathan Burt. So every position matters here. Tony Brent missing this week, same with Phil.
He caught the wall.
Clear high.
All right.
For Tony Brent to be missing as the 34. Thorpe slides up into the outside wall, just hangs
You have to drive this so weird.
Carson.
The setup. It's a custom setup. It's not an iRacing setup. You have to make all of the turn right there, and then exit has to be like completely straight almost.
Our stages here.
Like that.
So we'll have to regroup and get back in front of effectively Hunter Karsten in order to secure his spot. It is 7 points between Hunter Karsten and Jonathan Burt, and then 11 points between Jonathan Burt and Mike.
So I'm running a crazy low brake bias.
And a further 20 points between.
Tap the brake and get the nose to
They go three
dart left on entry.
place already. Cameron Sarton on the inside.
No, it's not loose. It's this tight.
Swerves to avoid 34. They're using.
I'm trying everything that I can to make it loose.
Sarton backs out, moves up, back behind the 13 of Hunter Karsten. He'll move up to the outside lane instead. Might as well, and I don't blame him. And look at the run that Cameron Sarton has pulled off on the outside, off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway, and just like that, sent down 2 positions.
Cameron will probably figure it out
Same goes for Hunter
and be able to catch me. See, right there I was loose, but that's good. It wears the right front so bad.
Number 4 once again is the 34 of Michael Thorpe Jr.
Oh, I got you. Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. Usually you would do that on loose setup. That's why this is so weird. Like everything seems backwards.
Actually, just over 10 laps shy of reaching the point of the stage. Stage ends lap 25. Travis Stark going to pick up another point in his favor here as he heads down to turns 3 and 4.
I'm driving a little too loose right now. I guess now that I got cleaner air, I got to readjust a little bit.
Travistar is also saving. Now, this is very intriguing. As
Cameron's catching me, so whatever he's doing is a little bit better.
I'll have to, if we do get a caution, I'll have to ask him about this because it is very intriguing.
I only got one
early on.
15-lap run on it, so
Maybe the fuel limit.
what I'm doing could be wrong.
But should be enough to reach the stage, you would think. Back around the outside goes Michael Thorpe Jr., not able to carry the momentum off of turn number 4 is Travis Stark, but he manages to hold on to it. Meanwhile, back for 6th position is Jonathan Burt and David McConnell.
Yeah, I could tell Michael wasn't going to last long. He is struggling.
Bent of keen eyes may have been watching the timing tower as Hunter Carson's actually caught his way back up to Cameron Sarton. And of course, right when I say that, Travis Stark manages to get by the 34 of Michael Thorpe Jr. the second we look away, but here comes Michael Thorpe Jr., slides up the outside. Slides a little bit too much, burning the rear tires. It's a lot about carrying momentum here at Olive Grove Speedway.
They're not. I'm a little too loose now.
Tonight, no idea. But let's go ahead and check the usual weather report. It is 88.
WSSR on Wednesday nights started last week.
Mildly cool, 100.
And so we'll run tomorrow.
Degrees of track temperature. That's in Fahrenheit. In Celsius, 31 and 58 respectively. So,
Yeah, I'm going to have to change my line. Cameron's catching me.
wasn't enough off of the corners. Well, you also have a 136 degree track to deal with as well. Think about last week at the virtual Phoenix Raceway, we did have about, well, I think it averaged 78 degree track temperature under the lights, keep in mind, at night. So the differences are quite contrast. 9 laps to go.
Yeah, Derek, why are you so busy?
Completion of the stage. Hunter Karsten set his sights on the back of Cameron Sarton. Let's go ahead and bring up the live championship standings as things are. 6-point difference between Hunter Karsten and Jonathan Burt. But the key thing that we're looking at is between Jonathan Burt and Michael Thorpe Jr. Hopefully William Duff as well. We'll see how things pan out here. Even though it's a smaller than usual field, there is still a very high likelihood of a caution. Especially with how
I would take sleep over watching racing.
It is very possible. That's right on board with Hunter Karsten. He chases down.
I don't get a lot of sleep, so that would definitely be my pick.
Switching back to the rear view of Travis Starr as he coasts his way into turns 1 and 2. 34 putting up a fight regardless. He still has his sights set. And already we are about to be 6 laps away from
Well, that's not good.
completion of the stage. Here comes Doug Pierce.
He's going to catch me a lot off of that one.
Of his own for the 6th place position. Jonathan
Maybe not.
Flies up, runs
Yeah, he caught me a little bit.
side. David McConnell follows suit. It's going to be side by side between the 39 and 6 drag race. It's 39 and the 6 at the start finish line. Every point matters for
This looseness didn't happen during testing, so I'm trying to learn it. I think I drove it
We can better see the difference in
a little too aggressive on the start.
from up above, as we will have 5 laps until the completion of the stage. Carrying that momentum from the top side down the back straightaway is Jonathan Burt. Stays reserved in his own lane up
Yeah, thirds.
top. We see Doug Pierce. The car had moved forward a little bit on entry to turn number 3, but not enough for the 6th place position. As Michael Thorpe Jr. has made his way by, I believe, if I had to figure, Travis Starr had slid off turn number 4, especially with this huge gap between the 34 and the 26. You see the 34 there. About a 3.5 car length gap, I want to say, down the back straightaway. Travis Starr nearly hitting the backstretch wall. Putting up a fight nonetheless. And speaking of which, here comes Larry Griffin. We have a 4-car battle here for the 6th place spot here. Just as we're coming into the final laps of the stage, all the points are up for grabs, and this is not what the 6 of Jonathan Burt wants. Dave McConnell thought about going to the middle by the look of the car's language, jolting a little bit to the inside off turn 4. Does he make the move up the middle? He's committed there for the moment. Jonathan Burt slides down to protect, and that's also going to be a deterrent for the 39 of Doug Pierce. So carrying that momentum off the top side, closing off the outside lane. And just like that, they're single file.
So I do need to protect the right rear next go around.
On the
Ooh.
battle as the
I thought I could just.
so there goes
I thought I could just.
to the very inside once again. Dave McConnell feeling things out. Larry Griffin lurking if anything happens. And look at the 6. You see just how close they are, running against the outside wall. 3 laps ago, mistake.
So you got to protect the front and the rear. I thought I could just
I'm be entirely in.
use the right rear all I wanted to,
As it looks like Doug
but it eventually gave out too. I guess with a 133-degree track,
through turn 1.
makes sense.
And meanwhile, for 8th and 9th, it's between David McConnell and Larry Griffin. And here comes Jonathan Burt off turn number 2 to the inside of his own.
Yeah, take a buffer to that side of that wall.
These two drivers.
It didn't do nothing to my car.
Not able to carry the momentum on the inside as well as he could for the outside.
Sometimes you got to use the wall to make the turn.
Stage. We'll stick with this battle for the moment. Then we'll confirm everyone's positions as they cross the start-finish line. But it is coming down to the wire. And even Jonathan Burt is aware of this. McConnell, or David McConnell in this case, to the inside. Larry Griffin following in the tire tracks of Jonathan Burt. Does he go up the middle?
Is that what he said?
Decisive. Now he goes through the middle, shows the nose. He's going to have to move up. And he was.
Sometimes it's true.
Once again, the 6 car down the front stretch. At least he was. The 22 wasn't to the inside. Meanwhile, back up front, it could be a race on for the 10 points in the stage here. Say that a lot can happen in these final few corners here. Well, I say final few corners, it's more just the final turn.
All right, I tried to turn in real late that time. That really didn't work. Yeah, I saw the Martinsville thing.
It looks like it'll be an easy stage win. So it's Brian McCann, Cameron Sargent, Hunter Karsten.
Wasn't sure if something else happened or not.
Ford Jr. and Travis Starr will be 4th and 5th. It's going to be a 3 wide and nearly contact. McConnell, Burt, Griffin, and Duff is what that was. I have to say that again. McConnell, Burt, Griffin, and Duff. That was close at the line. In fact, I'll have to double check that just to be sure here on the timing screen. McConnell, Burt, Griffin, yeah. So it was McCann, Sarton, Karsten, Thorpe, Dart, Pierce, Connell, Burt, Griffin, and Duff. I swear I just saw smoke off of the last corner here, but we will regroup. Let's stick with this battle here for the 8th place spot. Jonathan Burt's momentum has started to falter, and I don't blame him considering how hot the track is. He was pushing really, really hard. He was up to 4th at a point in this race, but it just didn't work out in his favor necessarily to push so hard early on. Once again, the top.
Looked like he might have caught the wall.
Cameron Sarton, Hunter Karsten, Michael Thorpe Jr., Travis Starr, Doug Pierce, David McConnell, Jonathan Burt, Larry Griffin, and William Duff. So now that that has been confirmed and points are awarded, it's time to update the point standings. Luckily, that shouldn't take too long. But while we still have a chance, let's go ahead and go to a scenic view here, as we'll go ahead and show you the point standings. In fact, let's do this in real time. These are the points as we came into tonight's event. Effectively, Brian McCann has locked himself in just by showing up for tonight. But the very interesting thing here.
Last week, WSSR at New Atlanta.
As we will get
that was a decent race. I want to say I got top 10 out of like 40 cars.
Brian McCann effectively locked himself in. Let's refresh. Be nice if we saved everything first. There we go. Hunter Karsten is now plus 13. Everyone else, save for
caution came out late. Well, actually, a few cautions came out late.
Even though Tony Brent is,
and I decided not to take tires, which moved me up to the front. I was starting like top 5 somewhere.
So these are the points as
Actually, I think top 3
points going into the championship 4. So
Cup cars, Derek.
effectively, maybe one position up for grabs, but
And we got shuffled back.
see how things.
The new tires just dominated us. But the cautions were coming out so quick. I only got shuffled back to like 10th or something. And then a huge wreck happened on a green-white checkered after the white flag came out. So I made it through the wreck and ended up finishing somewhere in the top 10.
I don't believe we
You're
had
going to need
any
rubber shortly. Take it
Oh,
easy.
I'm going to need rubber.
changes. Well, we did. David
No wonder it dropped so bad.
Pierce have, I believe they've started to close the gap to Travis Dart here as we approach lap number
I don't know
3.
which one it is. I can't tell if it's the right front or right rear.
Those are
It's driving so bad.
saving, and if some are, it won't be the tires because these conditions just absolutely will not allow for that. Just ask Michael Ford.
Oh, it's definitely the right rear.
Not playing out in his favor. Let's ride on board with Travis Star into turns 3 and 4 here.
Ten four, Derek.
Well, that's just that question.
Putting in.
So I think I see what exactly is happening. Some drivers are pushing, some are coasting. David McConnell is one of the drivers that is pushing as he will slide up just a little bit, trying to maintain control. The car snuck his way into the 4th place position on track. And right here we have 4th through 8th all in one camera shot, all separated by each other. Jonathan Burt is going to be the first driver to go into pit road. And meanwhile, the conditions have gotten to the tires of Michael Ford Jr. Unfortunately, still burning the rear tires off of the car at the moment. In fact, this has been enough for William Duff to catch up as well. I thought I saw that correctly, but I wasn't entirely sure. But William Duff, this is actually really good for him. Able to score a couple extra points for that number 17 machine as the 34 slides, just held on to it. Yeah, burning the tires off the car is the 34. Let's take a look at that once again.
Yeah, I guess we'll go in bid.
So watch the 34 slides here, still sliding, and just catches it twice. Enough to leave some smoke. What a save.
39, 39.
You're going to need rubber shortly. Take it easy.
Well, while we still have a chance, well, not necessarily, because here come the first 2 drivers into pit road. Here comes Michael.
Hard doing that with a
Cameron
broken
Sullivan,
tire.
Black flag for speeding on.
Oh, Cameron got speeding. Ooh.
Car 13 has taken the lead.
And how
That sucks.
that immediately? Well, we'll go ahead and,
2,
well, again,
1.
this is a
Right
good
here.
thing for Cameron Sarton. Well, correction, last week was
Oh, it was the right front.
the black flag.
Heck, I
this
got
week. Not
more right
necessarily.
rear than right front.
And how we know it's a black flag for speeding.
36-43.
Put that into a graphic
right,
format
that's
as
it, go.
well. But luckily, thanks to the guys over at ATVO, we now have
Have plenty of tire left.
labels in our timing screen that
The leader
showcase
is
when a
sitting
driver has a black flag. Here comes Hunter Karsten to pit road. We'll see if we can give that a little bit of a showcase later on, but maybe not. We'll see if we can do this here.
The car in front is pitting.
As Hunter Carson makes his way down pit road. So the drivers get to pit. Travis Stark, William Duff, Larry Griffin, and Ryan Lynch. Hunter Carson has just made his way into pit road. In fact, we'll go ahead and
Hunter got a black flag too?
the very easy way, now that the
Or no, he just pitted. Never mind.
longer exists necessarily. Well, we'll showcase this in a moment. We'll see how Dart and Duff navigate by the 39 of Doug
Inside.
Pierce.
Clear low, clear low.
So net lead now goes to Brian McCann, net P2 Hunter Karsten, and net P3 might be David McConnell. wait and see.
I was hoping Cameron would come out because I know what to do now.
Everything up because it's already.
And he probably does too, so that was probably going to shape up for a good race.
In pit road is I believe 30 seconds stopping the whole penalty. No, it is 40 seconds.
Oh yeah, I'm just cruising.
Here come Travis. Nope, I was going to say Travis Star and William Duff may be going to pit road, but no, they are banking on some form of a caution.
Yeah, we got
line
7 seconds back to the next person, so
Travis Star
I think we're good.
off, so I think he has decided that now might be the time to come to pit road.
Instead of going wide open at the apex, because I thought we could just go wide open at the apex and then try to use more of the right rear, but it doesn't like that either. So as long as you feather it back on, I think we'll be fine.
Chance. Let's run through a couple things here. First thing, well, let's wait to see if either of these two go to pit road. And that looks to be a no. What about Larry Griffin? He is actively coasting, so we'll see. Brian Lynch.
Right here's where we need the fast forward button.
They are fine.
Get to the last 10 laps.
We don't have our graphics back up on the screen. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Well, since we have the moment to do so, and before we have a moment to not do so, let's go ahead and showcase this for Brian McCann. Even though the race isn't over yet, he has effectively locked himself into the championship 4, so no harm, no.
He's got some pretty.
It's now, and
He's got some pretty cool graphics on that
to use
broadcast. He put some time into that.
So even though McCann,
Unless that software does it for him.
just by showing up, as mentioned earlier.
I ain't never seen anything like that.
And then the second thing on
Whenever he's showcasing these drivers,
that is going to be
he's got a real cool animated graphic that comes in, and it says like the name.
fun behind the scenes action.
Then it's like advances to the top or
To 18.
last 4 in playoffs, final 4.
Let's make sure it saves just to be sure. So this is not live. The image that you'll see is indeed an image. Again, it is not live.
Me and Cameron are racing.
A little bit of a showcase. This is what
I'm saving my tire big time. He's probably using it to get a lap back.
is now seen when a driver has a black flag. Someone Sarton was serving his penalty, and you see the black outline in the BF small box. That is basically indicating that he has a black flag, and that popped up right when he went through pit entry.
Yeah, Cameron's only down 1 lap, so he's going to be racing for this.
Just yet. But it does show, and context clues as well, it is pretty obvious that once the driver gets that
Could just drive hard and keep him a lap down.
line, when they go into pit road,
I don't want to do that.
one solution
I just do what I'm doing. If he gets around me, he gets around me.
as to what occurred.
I won't fight it too bad.
But that is a fun peek behind the scenes as to what we see here on our timing screens.
You're gaining on the car in front. The gap is 7.
Speaking of seeing things on timing screens, I just saw Larry Griffin
He
lost
caught up to me real quick, but then he stalled out.
Lynch. Let's try.
He's got 1 lap better tires than I do.
So this was going into turns 3 and 4. Up into
1 lap better tires and something to prove
trying to coast.
that he can get a lap back.
And maybe going to pit road. Yeah, it looks like Larry wanted to go to pit road, but
No, he ain't riding.
able to go to pit road. Does he go to pit road this time around? No. So
He's got to get that lap back.
this is very intriguing. So let's pull up the previous lap times as well for these drivers.
He's driving hard. I can tell he's driving hard.
This is as they cross the start-finish line, but the top 4 have been averaging about a 45.5.
He was wide open through there.
And then everybody else is averaging around a 43.3, kind of, depending on where you're at in the field, but still a 12-second gap between William Duff, Travis Starr, and Brian McCann.
The thing is, it's going to be hard to pass on the bottom side.
They're trying to bank on a caution. They definitely wanted to run long, hence the saving. But you have to make a move at some point. There is Cameron Sarton. Now he is 1 lap down.
Oh, he's going to get blocked too.
Full go to pit road. Cameron Sarton might as well be pretty much back on the lead lap from unlapping himself as they split. Larry Griffin.
That was interesting.
Cameron Sarton not in fourth position. Brian McCann is running in fourth position.
Cameron's like, give me my lap back.
Of course, he is allowed to fight for his lead back, for his lap back,
Got one out.
if he so chooses. To stay out.
Hell, he's stuck it on the outside. He's fighting hard. I'm just going to let him have it before we wreck.
Griffin go to the pit road. He also.
Of course, he's got it now anyway. I can't protect that.
There's a pass for position.
That's why he went for that outside line so hard.
Michael Thorpe Jr. and Jonathan Burt.
Bottom side sucks.
Exactly what I meant when I said William Duff was in the must-win situation.
But this plows. I'm plowing.
So anyway, this is what the points would look like if William Duff were to win tonight's event.
Shall we meet again, Cameron?
It's wild seeing Cameron Sargent scoring the line for the first on the time in time. But that's not incorrect.
Wait, it still shows him a lap down. Did he go?
Championship standings, I should.
Wait a minute.
Michael Thorpe is on the back foot, so it's effectively a fight between Jonathan Burt and Hunter Karsten. Hunter Karsten
apparently he's 2 laps down.
Right now.
Now he's 1 lap down.
So he sits in 6th.
That's interesting because
is Jonathan Burt.
iRacing, where my race labs was saying 1 lap down, and then after he passed me, iRacing is now saying 1 lap down.
Brian McCann for 3rd place.
Yeah, but why did Race Lab never show he was 2 laps down? That's the confusing part.
2. Now that do they play to split 50-50? Are they going to try and make it until lap 50? That's what I'm wondering. Hunter Karsten gets by Larry Griffin.
The leader just did a 45.9.
They might try. You know what? That might be what they're trying. And this could be a little.
Yeah, I thought he was 1 lap down, so when he passed me, it didn't flip over to white. That's why I was confused.
Second gap between William Duff and Brian McCann with 4 laps.
So Race Labs was telling me wrong when I looked at it.
Is this a trial?
Maybe I looked at it before I passed him in the pits or something.
Race. I did say.
Because I don't think I looked at it after that while we were racing.
This might do it, but it will be close. So let's. No, he's going to pit road actually.
Oh, I'm not the leader.
So
we figured it out.
William Duff didn't say he did.
We have figured it out.
The car behind is pitting.
No speeding penalty for the 17, luckily.
I will be the leader when Travis Dart pits. How has Travis Dart stayed out for 46 laps?
Ryan Lynch has stayed.
That's impressive.
And no, he also stays out. So let's use Travis Dart as the further example now. 3.2 second gap. This is with constant saving, pretty much ever since the start of the race, if I'm not mistaken.
You're gaining on the car in front. The gap is
coming to the halfway point in this race.
Can Travis make it to 50?
The gap is 2.7 seconds. I don't think it would be possible. The gap, the speed is almost 2 seconds per lap advantage towards Brian McCann in this instance. As David McConnell gets by Larry Griffin, who has spun on pit entry, but because he spun on pit entry and well off the track, there is no caution. Let's go ahead and look at this from off turn number 4. You see Larry Griffin slowing down. And was it that transition? No, it wasn't. It was quite a bit later, so maybe just too much braking.
Next car is the leader.
Well, in the meantime, it's a 1 second gap between Brian McCann and Travis Dart. William Duff has gone by, gotten his lap back. Same goes for Cameron
He
Sarton.
wasn't far off from him. He's 1 lap short right here,
Technically,
and I'm just now passing him.
to apply this to the final half of this
So
race.
it was
2 laps to
Got one
go,
inside.
pretty close.
1 lap to go.
Stay
Is
high.
it possible?
All clear, all clear.
Maybe. It might be possible. I do have to stretch a little bit longer just to be sure that the advantage goes in your own favor.
All right, man.
And Travis
Good job.
Starr,
You're
as
now the
well
leader.
as Ryan Lynch, are going to be the ones to try out this strategy. William Duff couldn't make it as we reach, well, 2 laps with the halfway point. We are 51 laps to go. The only driver 1 lap down right now is Larry Griffin from the spin on pit entry. Aside from that, knock on wood, a clean race so far.
Cameron is faster than me though. I don't think I could keep up with him.
Halfway
I ain't really been trying,
Look out
but
behind you,
of
PD.
this event,
he is
and crosses the
pulled away quite a bit.
50 laps complete and 50 laps to go. Travis Starr has finally called it into pit road. Ryan Lynch has decided to stay out. A very intriguing strategy here for the number 3. We'll see how things play out here this time by. Even more so, we're going to go ahead and go side by side. You won't miss a single bit of the action here. Just keep an eye on your leader and any close battles on the racetrack. But right now, Brian McCann leads
All right, man.
as we approach
Halfway
the
this time
final
by.
49 laps of this event.
Wouldn't that be something if I called him and passed him, put him a lap down? That'd be dirty, wouldn't it?
What you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt kicker. The future is feeling.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included, so look at
You got one inside. Stay high. Clear low, clear low.
It feels like a tractor trailer in a mud pit.
We are back live here at the virtual Auto Club Speedway for the California 200. As things stand, this is how, that's not the right graphic, this is how the championship standings look as of the stage. As Cameron Sargent and Brian McCann have effectively, well, Sargent won last week at Phoenix, and McCann, simply just by showing up this week, has locked himself into the championship.
I think I can take my street truck and outdo it and do a better job than this.
Are Hunter Carson and
this car's handling.
Tony Brent, Philip Chavez not here, Michael Thorpe Jr. and William Duff are going to be trying to get their final spot into the championship four. And this is how things currently stand with live points in mind, going well in favor of both Hunter Carson and Jonathan Burt on the racetrack. Here is the 13 of Hunter Carson, currently sitting in the second place position on track, just about one lap behind in pit strategy, or one lap actually past pit strategy for Brian McCann, likely hoping potentially that he could maybe overcut the number 8 and really secure his spot, but we will see how things fare. Here's Jonathan Burt sitting 5th on the racetrack in that number 6 machine. Effectively, all he has to do is finish the event, and I don't believe he'll be at risk. In fact, yeah. We'll double check the math on this one really quickly. So hypothetically, Jonathan Burt could DNF and still point his way in, but Michael Thorpe Jr. is on the outside looking in at the moment. He currently sits ahead of Jonathan Burt on the racetrack, 2,058 points to Jonathan Burt's 2,071 points.
Feels like if you took a three-wheeler to a road course.
Are not only Michael Thorpe Jr., but it's also the 17 of William Duff, currently sitting 7th place in the on track at the moment.
10 forward there.
Cross into 40 laps to go. So that is how things look at the moment for your championship points, and if anything does change, we will update you in due course. Speaking of being in due course,
it's like a side-by-side with bicycle tires on it.
Again, still chasing down Cameron Sargent. Do not adjust your pictures in case you weren't here.
Oh, we're going to hit the wall. We almost hit the wall.
The time of pit stops, more specifically. Cameron Sargent had sped on pit road, on pit entry, got himself a stop and hold penalty, I believe 40 seconds. So he had to serve that penalty. He had to fight his way back onto the, well, in front of Brian.
Oh, it's a lot worse than that. There's a lot of things happening wrong.
Brian McCann has cycled back through to lead. Cameron Sargent has also cycled his way back into being on the lead lap, albeit only in 9th. But
that and the track being 100,000 degrees don't help.
These things where he could hypothetically DNF and he would be fine. We saw that same thing. Saw a similar thing happen with him at the Milwaukee Mile, where he spun off turn 4 and had to pretty much retire the car, but he had won the week beforehand, if I remember correctly, so no harm, no foul if he does DNF this week. Same goes for Brian McCann.
The entire apex exit, the rear is just hanging out sliding.
This track is between Doug Pierce and Jonathan Burt.
And then on entry, it just plows like a snow truck.
Stand right now in terms of the actual point standings. This is going to take a little bit to do, but this is possible. Meantime, let's right on board the 39 rather, as he chases down the 6 car for P5 on the racetrack.
You just got to use a little bit of the wall to make the turn. That's the trick.
So with how all the positions are for everybody on the racetrack, it'll be Doug Pierce potentially cementing his spot in P13. Last time we checked in with Doug Pierce and Larry Griffin, they were tied on points at 323 points, I believe, leaving the Milwaukee Mile or going into the Milwaukee Mile, but it was a battle for 13th nonetheless, and then Larry Griffin did not show up last week, and then that put the favor towards the 39. Why is, you know what, it's lap 30. Hunter Karsten, interestingly enough, is trying for an undercut, despite the fact that, well, when we checked, and when he was running in second, he was plus 20 in the cutoff, so he would have been fine. Jonathan Burt would have been plus 9, Michael Thorpe Jr. would have been minus 9.
Yeah, he's 8 seconds back. We're good.
For Thorpe and Duff, so very intriguing strategy by Hunter Karsten to pit with 33 laps to go.
I could probably go another one and still be fine. I don't think he'll pass me 8 seconds.
And in fact, let's go ahead and showcase the points here.
All I got to do is not speed.
Yeah, between himself and Michael Thorpe Jr. So we'll see how things pan out here as both Jonathan Burt and Doug Pierce make their way into pit road. Well, a second round of pit stops is
too late, Derek.
Board. Here comes Brian McCann, keeping a very close on the timing screen for a lot of various reasons, but staying out of trouble is Brian McCann.
Pit boxing.
Can we say the same for the 22 of David McConnell as he makes his way into pit road? Yes, we can.
3,
that is Michael Thorpe Jr. as well.
1. Right here.
No pit lane penalty. William Duff has decided to stay out.
So I saved more
This time
on the right
around.
rear.
Yes, he does. He
Use the same right front.
stay on the racetrack. Same goes for likely Cameron
All right,
Sargent.
that's it. Go.
No move.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Maybe a little bit of a glance, but nothing else. Same for Ryan.
As long as we don't get a caution.
When we look back to the driver who started
We'll
the...
just go ahead and run these laps out and get the win.
It is the 13 of Hunter Karsten. Started 4th place, remember. So far, a pretty good day for the number 13. A lot can still happen in these last 32 laps. We saw a little bit earlier on around the first round of pit stops that Larry Griffin had spun on pit entry. Granted, it did not bring out a yellow, but doesn't mean it's not possible to spin and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, they got a bit though.
It's Cameron Sargent. This time, he is
Well, Travis don't, but
by the
he's on old tires, so
doesn't go over the speed limit, so everything fine this time around. Probably was a couple miles an hour slower than before, just to be sure. Just like that, Hunter Karsten's already...
yeah, hopefully we got a few laps out of these.
Net P2.
And no caution comes out, because caution comes out right here. Cameron could
gets shot
leapfrog back to the front.
Pit road. Here is Brian McCann, currently sits P3.
Of course, he is a lap down.
William Duff, likely, very likely, not going to make...
So if it came out right now, he's screwed.
Not making it to the end of the race, more specifically. It'd be impressive, but it'd be a 50. It'd be. I mean, here's the thing. William Duff has been out and has not pit for 23 laps. It will be 24 if he stays out with stand by, and it will be. I don't know if William Duff is going to be able to stay out for a total of.
Hunter only caught me by like 1 second.
And if he does stay out, it's more to bank on any potential caution, which might as well. I don't blame him. Nothing to lose. Might as well try something. Might as well try something different. That's the words I was looking for. We got there at the end of the day.
Cameron's already. There's a word for it
Matter
that I can't find right now.
the speed difference. I mean, Brad McKinnon is about 2 seconds faster.
Yeah, one inside.
Well, yeah, 2 seconds faster, just about,
Clear low, clear
than
low.
William Duff
Keep guiding
and
on the
Travis
current
Start,
front.
where
We got these.
Brad McKinnon will just
7.7
slide on by
seconds.
the outside lane. Travis Start might be able to
Wasn't sure where he was going to go there.
road, and every time I think that, that is not the case. However,
Get back in
with
second.
the line that Travis Start had taken, and well, with the momentum carrying him up into the outside wall, I'm pretty sure he's wishing he had gone to pit road, and well, I can only empathize with that. There are times where even I wish, well,
I feel for Cameron though. He doesn't practice. He does something before he comes in here. I don't know if he's got another league or another race or something, but he gets in here late and he doesn't have time to practice. So he probably didn't have
current leader.
any practice on pit entry,
There is your net leader. The returns 3 and 4.
whereas I did. So that probably helped me out there. And otherwise, it looked like he was pretty fast.
To go at the start-finish line.
You're pulling away from the car behind. The gap is 2.9 seconds. You're gaining on the car in front. The gap is 4.7 seconds.
Well, since we never really did this just yet, let's go ahead and wait for Brian McCann to round turn 4. In fact, where's Hunter Carson? Here he is. Wait for Hunter Carson to round off turn 4, and then we will ride on board with him for a couple laps, just so you get the feel of what it's like racing here at the Olive Club Speedway, which, oh, by the way, iRacing.com/Black Friday. Black Friday deals are active. I would take advantage of those, and I'm going to eventually after this. That's why I'm bored with Hunter Karsten for a couple laps.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. I got to renew my iRacing subscription as well.
You're pulling away from the car behind. The gap is 5.5 seconds. You're gaining on the car in front. The gap is 2 seconds. The leader just did a 45.312. Good job, the next car is the leader.
For a while there, I was not racing, but I was still having to pay for the membership because I was running that thing on the forums where, I don't know if I haven't been on the forums forever, but I had a website where you can go
Got
and
one outside.
get your driver's stats in a little banner.
All clear, all clear.
I think somebody else took it over after I quit. And then when I quit the iRacing subscription and everything, and
Right on board. I heard the tire.
didn't touch it for a while, and then got back into it a few years ago.
You might have heard the tires screech, and of course the sound of a car hitting the outside wall just a little bit, but that's not going to stop Hunter Karsten from getting what is effectively a net P2 after this. Waiting for William Duff and Travis Start to go to pit road, and William Duff was
All
in
right,
the
man, good
outside
job. You're
wall,
now the leader.
actually. Not enough to be around or cause a caution.
Oh, I'm the leader.
Noticeable on corner exit.
Is that who I just passed? I ain't even paying attention.
So let's see, does he just slide up? Oh, yeah, we can see it already right
How's that
there.
road for you, Cam?
Just a bit too much momentum.
You're pulling away from the car behind. The gap is 2 seconds.
Travis start and Hunter Karsten side by side for a brief moment in turns 3 and 4. And that
Got one
has
outside.
quickly come to an end as Hunter Karsten
Stay low.
makes his way up into effectively
You're clear
net
high, clear
P2
high,
still, but
outside.
currently
Clear
P3
high, clear
on the racetrack. William Duff has
You
stayed
got one
out.
outside.
I thought he was going to pull down.
All
After
clear, all
caution
clear.
does come out, he is the only one guaranteed to get a, well, never mind.
He kept switching left when the spotter said clear.
All right, well, he still has a chance to be the first driver one lap down. Oh, with a hit,
Damn,
especially
did he almost just wreck?
off of turn 2, just hangs on to it, luckily. I was about to say, Cameron Sargent's kind of lucky.
I just want to get this thing over with.
One lap down, but then right when I said that, checking on Larry Griffin, well, he went a lap down.
You're pulling
Meanwhile,
away
Michael
from
Thorpe
the
Jr.
car
and Ryan
behind.
Lynch are
The
side
gap
by
is
side off turn 2.
4.4
Down the
seconds.
back struggle they go. And that moves the 34 up into piece.
I never readjusted my brake bias.
Not doing him any favors.
Yeah,
And neither is the temperature. It is still, well, I say still.
yeah. I mean, he's not looking too good for the end of this race, unless there's like a lot of cautions for some reason, which I doubt that with 11 cars.
Yes, to be more specific, 138-degree track temperature in Fahrenheit, 89-degree air temperature, still 31.
The only way I can lose this race right now is if my computer
Check
gives out
at the,
or
but the track is not getting any colder.
I find that blue wall real good.
It's for that to happen, but that will not be the case. 21 laps to go. As Ryan McCann goes into pit road. There, Griffin has gotten past. I should say, Cameron Sargent has gone by Larry Griffin.
Or a tire blows out. A tire could blow out, so I do need to
So back to the first drive.
keep that in mind. I can't use it too much.
From Burt. There is Brian McCann. So
About my computer, though, I did figure out
they caution.
what was going on. So I was having a bunch of problems with like my screen would just freeze. Like the picture, I could still see the car and the track and everything, but it was just like a snapshot in time, frozen. And then I'm sitting there and I can still hear everything, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? I'm still driving. I'm still in the server. My car's still there. And this happened at Talladega while I was side by side. Froze for like a second or two. It was a long time. And then it just comes back and everything's up and running. Turns out the the G-Sync was the culprit on that one.
You didn't it?
So I found that out by running the G-Sync pendulum test. Hard for me to say that word.
Let's go ahead
And
McCann.
running that test, it shows you what it's using, if it's using G-Sync, V-Sync, or no sync. And it was fine if that was the only thing that was running. And when I started using the graphics card for video encoding, which is what the stream uses, so like if I started recording or started streaming, that's when the G-Force started going back and forth, like on and off. Not G-Force, the G-Sync. I keep saying G-Force. But the G-Sync would start to fail. So there's some kind of driver issue, and I'm still getting some stutters. So what I did is in this computer, I got two drives in it. I dual booted. And I used to, when I first set it up, I like set everything up and then copied it to the other drive. So I had, in case a drive failed, I just boot to the other drive and I'm up and going. But I never kept that second drive up to date, like Windows updates and all that. So it was like 2 years old or whatever. So instead of like trying to bring that one back up to date and use that, I did a complete wipe and I'm doing a complete reinstall on it. And I've got it set back up to where I got iRace and everything installed.
They're all
I just got to get my stream set up, my stream stuff set back up.
to Brian McCann. What's the lap times this time by? 44.615 for Brian McCann, and Cameron Sarkin 44.
You're going to have to define cheaper, because the lowest card that I could buy and still do what I do with the stream is a 3050. So whatever those cost.
Races way back into the.
But yes, you could.
Lap if he doesn't hit.
But the card, I don't think it's a hardware problem.
Seems
Like the card I got is completely capable of doing it all at once. I think it's a driver issue. Because on my second drive, when I get everything set back up and I do the same thing, it works fine. Boot to the drive that's bad, with the theoretical bad drivers, it does not work.
Yeah,
so something software related has gone on. And it happened shortly after a Windows update.
Lose.
And I've tried updating everything, all the graphics drivers, the motherboard drivers, updated the BIOS,
Karsten, those drivers.
updated everything that I could update, but that didn't fix it.
11th. Well, since it's 1 point per position.
Yeah, it was a really annoying problem. A relatively easy fix once I figured it out.
I could just do this.
So right now I'm driving on my bad
Carson has earned
hard drive
well
with G-Sync turned off,
has earned,
which isn't a problem, and you can't hardly tell the difference.
including stage points. Right.
I can see some stutters every now and then, but it ain't nothing bad.
For 11th place. 11th place would award approximately, not even approximately, but exactly 26 points. So we do a simple math of 2,077 minus 26. And interestingly, Hunter Karsten is actually at risk. So if he does DNF, he would have 2,051 points. That would mean Michael Thorpe Jr. and Jonathan Burt would both move up. So that is...
I ain't been paying attention, and Cameron's been catching up.
That's genuinely intriguing. So Hunter Karsten, despite running second, despite running so well this race, is technically at risk.
It got super tight there in his dirty air.
I did say this makes sense, because earlier he was running...
Don't hit the wall! Ooh! That's tough.
Last did this. He was running in second.
I gotta make a correction here.
That means he's only plus 20 points above the cut line. That is... yeah, that's actually right there. I could have just looked at Michael Thorpe Jr.'s points. It's at 2,057, so...
He's got the same lap tires I do, so I'm gonna have to race him for a little bit.
But there is still a chance. So in order for Hunter Karsten to, if he were to wreck out, I believe he might have to finish in order to wreck out and still stay in. Actually, it's not even on the cards for him. Everybody else, at least.
No, it's got to be a 3050. It uses the.
Hold on a minute.
Clear low, clear low.
I feel like I'm doing it.
Uses the NVEC encoder, which
the entire thing I've been saying for the past 2 minutes
didn't become available till 3050.
That's hard sometimes. I can say that much. So 35, 30.
I mean, the 1080 might do it, but it probably uses an older
minus 2 there.
encoder.
So that's 9 points.
The 3050 was a game changer as far as streaming.
Still intriguing, because 9 points back would put him at 2,070 points. Jonathan Burt could get third in the...
But thank you, Derek. Thank you for the offer.
One position could mean a lot after all. But entirely forget the...
I'm also going to change my audio setup.
He could DNF and still not make it. Turns out I was subtracting the wrong amount of points.
I'm doing a lot of microphone processing, and I don't like it.
Oh, right. It's 1 point base.
I'm going to change all that stuff, too.
Well, for the most part. First place, normally, will get 40 points.
Make it simpler.
Normally, considering, well, we've seen drivers...
And it won't cut off the, like when I first start to talk, it cuts off the beginning of it.
40 points. So, hold on a minute. Cameron Sarton
got too big of a gate.
20 laps in his run. I wouldn't be surprised if he does decide to pull up behind the virtual wall.
All clear, all clear.
No, he's getting tires, so he is running to the end, but I think he knows that he can't afford to do this. He's probably just having fun at this point, so... I don't know. I don't necessarily
We
blame
have 10
him.
to go this time by.
Meanwhile, for Jonathan Burt, potentially looking to get his lap back, but 44.8 across the start-finish line for Brian McCann, 45.5 for Jonathan Burt. What a shame too for Jonathan Burt, genuinely, because he was running fourth place early on in the race, but then quickly fell. The pace had just quickly fallen off. The tires just do not like, effectively, I believe, his driving style, as well as the
Hang on to
this
it, Doug.
track itself, the track temperature and the driving style. You
I'm
have to
trying.
do your
You got a
best to
little
adapt,
squirrely there.
but sometimes it's just not the most favorable.
Yeah, Sarton gave
Yeah, well,
in.
forget the tires going on the car for Cameron Sarton. He's actually not out on
He stuck around and
the
went for the hope.
And you know what? Like I said before, I do not blame him. I think this is the one instance where, quote unquote, start and park, and I'm using that term,
He's locked in anyway, so it don't matter.
would not be frowned upon, because he is locked in. He has nothing to race for this week. He is fine. So I don't blame
Plus, I know he has people who watch him race, his family and stuff.
him for showing up and for running, what was it, 89 laps?
So he gave it his all.
He didn't technically have to, but he did anyway. Yeah, just seeing William
But
Duff.
yeah, Derek, I hear you on that iRacing and Warzone machine you got.
Race track.
Or no, Call of Duty. Is that the same thing? Call of Duty Warzone? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Are here. Again, a lot can happen in the last 6 laps, well, 5 laps.
I got like 4 games I play, and I don't know anything about anything else about anything.
Like 5 and, 7 8 or whatever. Just
iRacing, Rocket League,
get the start finish line. Caution could come out here.
Sea of Thieves,
That first All Club logo, where
sometimes Counter-Strike.
and the race
No, PUBG. I'm forgetting PUBG.
complete. So I'll
You ever play Sea of Thieves, Derek?
in the meantime, let's see. There's
That's an Xbox
involved
game, also on PC.
Right, it's resetting everybody else. Which again, the drivers that had made it to the Championship 8, or the Championship 8, round of it, their points for this round will be reset, and they will be back on par with the drivers from 7 through 12. So effectively, all that means is the drivers from 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th in standings lose the 2000 moniker, and they will instead go back to the...
That's a really fun game.
The annoying part is having to agree with everybody in the first place, but that should be
I grew up on Counter-Strike.
expected.
Like the kids nowadays who all play Fortnite.
The race
That was me back then, but on Counter-Strike.
to go,
And then
and leading by
PUBG was a pretty fun game when it came out, but I don't play it much anymore.
We're in a podium
Rocket League, I still play it.
gap on an oval that had.
I'm
Double check this.
pretty decent at it.
The point standings. So remember Atlanta, that was...
I like physics games. For some reason,
I remember Atlanta.
I'm good at physics games.
A pretty...
I don't know why.
So let me double check with everything here. Well, in fact, the largest gap we might have is 17.172, and that was last week at the Milwaukee Mile. The shortest gap might be from Talladega.
Crisis, I think I played some of that. I didn't ever play Rainbow Six.
I have to go back through and double
I knew other people who played it, but I didn't ever play it.
I would believe Daytona would be The closest finishing margin.
No, not Crisis. What I'm thinking of is a game called SWAT. Completely different. Never mind.
No.
I recently went through some of my old junk in a closet
In fact, top two.
and pulled out a whole bunch of those old boxes with the CDs,
Seconds. And then
CDs in them, and the like game keys, and so I got all my original Counter-Strike game boxes and
This is top three finishing margin this
bunch of old like sim racing stuff too, like my.
second. And then 0.0.
I don't know if I got the NASCAR, the first one that came out, but I think I got the second one and several other ones after that.
this season.
And I got the IndyCar version by Papyrus.
In the meantime, it
Yeah.
is 2 laps to go.
I still got the original wheel too,
Brian McCann. Never mind.
somewhere. If I don't wreck here. No, it's on the other side of the wall. Never mind.
Line. It was probably right just when I looked. Hypothetically, even Brian McCann could decide to not finish the race. That's not the right graphic. There we go. And it would be fun, but
Yeah, GameStop.
he's mathematically, well, he is mathematically locked in with 2 laps to go here this race.
All right, man. 2 to go.
I like that store.
Separate Hunter Karsten from Jonathan Burt, and then a further 10 points.
And they've stayed somewhat,
Michael Thorpe. This is going to be the time.
I guess.
If you're Michael Thorpe Jr., William Duff, you are hoping for a caution.
Yeah, now you just download everything.
The field is the only thing that could cause the caution is the ridiculously slick track conditions. 138 degrees Fahrenheit. And it looks like, well, we'll just hold off and wait. Does the caution come out? At the
This was a long race.
Because if it does, that will change everything. This time by the start-finish line, white flag is being flown. Race is official.
That broadcaster's like, whew.
100 laps here in the California.
I bet it's hard to talk about stuff when you only got 10 drivers all spread out.
Showcased this season. In case it hasn't been clear enough,
All right, man, take it easy, Derek.
he is someone to very much look out for.
How good this Ross Chastain it here.
Being dominant here. Someone who could give him a run for his money is Brian McCann. Brian McCann could give Brian McCann a run for his own money, quite realistically. But fellow racers on the track could also beat Cameron Sarton. But, well, we'll wait and see how things fare. Hitting the outside wall just for fun as he wins at the Auto Club Speedway for the last 2 spots in the championship. However, it is going to be
I was wondering if you're going to stick around to see that, Derek.
a well-deserved 10-point advantage over Jonathan Burt. And speaking of Jonathan Burt, he's all the way
Thanks, good racing.
and in fact, he is a lap down, so he has finished the race. He has also advanced into the championship 4.
Penalty.
Hell, this might be faster.
If he's still running or not, but regardless,
No wall riding.
while we have a chance
Does he need a push? Hold on.
up on screen for Jonathan Burt, he has officially advanced into the championship 4.
Oh, he's going to make it.
The same goes for Hunter Karsten. He'll get his graphic.
I was going to slow down and give him a
The race
push.
is over.
And is about to burn it down here on the front straightaway. Race winner at the Auto Club Speedway.
Just from
Burns it down.
initial
Let's go.
look, I'll have to still upload the points. It looks like it's going to be McCann, Sarton, Karsten, and Burt in the championship 4 for the final 2
Water
races.
temp keeps getting high.
Not 100% confirmed, but that's what it looks like.
Keep rubber short. Take it easy.
Very long John Force burnout down the front stretch. And then look at your finishing results of this race. It is in the first place position. Got the
Oh, let's go explain ourselves now.
Hunter Karsten and Travis Dart, your top 3. We're going to interview with them momentarily. Dave McConnell finishes in the 4th place position. Michael Thorpe Jr., a great climb to the 5th place position to get a top 5 by the end of this event. William Duff finishes in the 6th place position. Ryan Lynch 7th. Doug Pierce has finished in 8th. Jonathan Burt 9th.
When was the
and
stage?
Ray
25 or 30?
has finished in 10th with Kevin Sarton
45.
finishing in 11th, choosing
Good
to
one there,
go
Brian.
behind the wall.
Oh, that
on his
was,
own
that was
accord.
stupid strategy.
As well, he advanced, and not really necessarily needing to race for the rest of the event. So that is your championship standings. Well, correction, finishing results. We'll get to your championship standings. I do want to see, in fact, we'll do this now. We'll go ahead and showcase the championship standings now that everything has been, well, official. So we'll go ahead and pull up the graphic as of the stage. This is what everything looked like. Again,
Run
get
a lot
the
more like
proper,
closer laps to
graphic.
other
That would
people
be
who are running
fantastic.
normal laps.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, you save so much more fuel when you
And for
like
the
save
championship
on the fresher
four,
tires. I feel like
this is what
I don't know, it's
points
tough,
look
it's weird.
like going into, well, I say going into next week. This is what the points look like leaving this week.
That's for sure.
Next week. Brian McCann, Cameron Sarton, Hunter Karsten, and Jonathan Burr are your championship 4 drivers. Michael Thorpe Jr., 6 points shy. William Duff, 16 points shy. Tony Brentfield and Chavez, both 27 points shy. Both of them choosing not to race for this week. Well, I say Philip Chavez. Tony Brent, as far as I know, has chosen not to race for this week, but Philip Chavez unable to race for the rest of this season due to real life commitments. And now we'll go ahead and get an interview.
Mr. Travis Dart is up in the
Finishers, and
booth.
that is starting off with the 26 of Travis Dart, where Travis, he had a pretty good run today. Silent run, qualified 7th, finishing.
Oh, he did the field strategy.
Silent but smooth run throughout
And he finished 3rd.
this afternoon.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I tried a strategy. It didn't work whatsoever because I still finished like 25 seconds behind Brian McCann, who ran a great race. I don't think I would have beaten him. I don't think I had the speed, but I tried a one-stopper. That was not the strategy call whatsoever.
And despite trying the one-stopper, he still somehow ended up in 3rd place. But for this week, let's go ahead and talk about the tires as well. Last week it was, of course, under the lights at Phoenix. It was, I believe, average like, 78-degree track temperature, 79 if it was even the worst. And then the worst today was 139 degrees. So how are the tires handling out there for you? Because I did see some sliding for
139.
drivers, some drivers hitting the outside wall as well. I believe you did
A couple more numbers, you slap
Yeah,
some chicken down, you can cook it.
So I think of following people into the wall, not me putting myself into the wall. But other people were definitely hitting the wall. Yeah, the setup was, I don't even know how to even begin with this setup. It was like loose on entry,
Loose on entry.
out of 2, but I
Tight.
think that had to do with the wind. But then it was like loose in 3 and 4, but then the tire percentage, it ran tight. I don't even know. It didn't. I definitely ran off the right front a lot more. I just wish I could have ran off the left rear a little bit more. I think that would have played into my strategy probably a little bit better, but it is what it is. I didn't really notice. I don't know
How was he loose on entry?
the physics and mechanics of this car and these tracks is just so messed up right now that I don't even know what to think. Because if with the track temp that we had, I felt like I shouldn't even be able to go 50 laps.
That was definitely a very challenging.
Wait, was that not a custom setup? It says
slick
California
rules as
Oval.
well. And well, that only.
I thought it was a custom.
Check, but I believe that does continue next. Yes, it does. It unfortunately does continue next week at the Virtual Las Vegas, 1:20 p.m. In sim time. So another daytime race, but of course, I'm pretty sure you're hoping that you'll be able to score a couple extra points on some of the other drivers that are that you're going to be fighting for here.
Yeah, I think I should be pretty decent. I've had to. Well, no, never mind. All 3 playoff races have been bad for me. I forgot last week I got wrecked, but that one at least was of my own doing. Yeah, I have no clue. I mean, I'm kind of just content with just finishing out these races now. I'm having a lot of fun. A lot of green flag races. Wish we had more people out, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I just wish we had more people out so it'd be more competitive, but it's fun.
That definitely is a lot of fun. Before we go ahead and let you go ahead and shout who gets it done for you for that number 26.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you up in the booth, Steve as race control, everybody in the league who shows up week in and week out. It's been a lot of fun with a lot of green flag racing. Our sponsors, Butt Kicker, oh gosh, I already forgot.
On the throttle.
On the throttle, yes. I wanted to say something else. On the throttle, check out their Instagram and such, and then also Team Watson Racing Setups, who we build setups for, and we've done a pretty good job, and a lot of satisfied customers, and we're pretty competitive each week in the Be Open series. So if you want a Be Open setup, definitely check out TeamWatsonRacingSetups.com.
And the link is in the description below for all three aforementioned as well. So go ahead and check that out once we're done with the interviews here. But thank you, Travis, for your time. We hope to talk to you again next week.
Yep, awesome. Thank you.
And that is third place finisher.
All right, well, have a good night, you guys. Good win again, Brian.
Thank you. Have a good one.
We'll now move on to someone who I'm sure is going to be very relieved to hear the following words of being locked into the championship 4 by, I think, 20 points. No, well, yeah, 20 points. So, Hunter Carson, congratulations. You have officially made it into the championship 4. So, I'm pretty sure a large weight off your chest now that the round of 8 is over.
Yeah, I'd say so. At the beginning of the season, I honestly didn't think that potentially racing for a championship was going to be possible at season's end, but here we are.
And here we are indeed.
Yeah, Hunter made a huge improvement throughout the season.
Yeah, he did undercut, or at least attempt a little bit of an undercut in the second round of pit stop. So was it more just down to trying an undercut to see what happens, or was it more the tires, in your case, were starting to get a little bit more out of favor than you were hoping?
A bit of a mixture of both. I was kind of struggling a little bit at the end of that run, and, I was so far back, might as well try it and see what happens, and kind of ended up being the same old during this race.
Especially with the hot track temperatures going into today as well. But next week, and then 2 weeks from now, we head to both Las Vegas as well as the Richmond Raceway, both day races. So with how everything has been so far this season, what are your thoughts on Vegas and Richmond as we head into the championship races, or is it more just attacking that as the weeks come?
I'd say it's more or less just attacking it week by week. Richmond, I should probably get some laps in. I've always struggled there in whatever I race in. And Vegas, I've recently been getting better and better at, and not too long ago ran a race and ran up front. So hopefully that's what happens whenever we go to Vegas.
Hopefully that will be the case. Before we go ahead and let you go celebrate your second place finish here for this week, go ahead and shout out who gets it done for you.
I'd like to shout out 24 Social, 24 Speed, 213 Somewhere, Reaper, and my Twitch, Hunter Carson 1. I'm trying to stream more, and yeah.
Hopefully some people will be able to go ahead and check out your point of view if you do manage to get that up in time for the last 2 races of the season.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations once again on your second place.
Thank you.
We will move on to someone who didn't have to win, but I think just for fun and probably because he thought it was funny, decided to win for this week. Brian McCann, another win on this season. Insanely comfortable heading into the championship for next week. I mean, even just by showing up for this week, not even including stage points, just by showing up, you had pretty much automatically advanced. But a great race for you nonetheless. The second largest finishing margin, I believe, to second place for this season.
Thank you. Yeah. Auto Club. I like the track. we were out there at the beginning. Cameron was chasing me down, and looked like it was going to be a good race. I called out to my crew chief. I was like, "Hey, give me that special right front tire." So he went in the trailer and got the special right front tire and put it on there. But unfortunately, something happened to Cameron in the pits, and we didn't get to race it out. But Sarton was fast. I was a little worried about him during the race. Car handled not great. It was a different experience, but we made it work.
So the thing that happened for Cameron Sarton is that he ended up speeding on pit entry. So not the most kindest thing, but the second go around, he managed to just shy away from the ire of the officials who were paying very close attention, which I don't blame them. But the only one to get a black flag for this race as well. But luckily for him, he was pretty comfortable, especially after last week at Phoenix. But this week, well, it was Auto Club, so next week is one I should be looking ahead for, is Las Vegas, the end of the West Coast swing. Well, Western swing. Southwest swing? That sounds a little bit better. The end of the Southwest swing, heading to Vegas next week. Another day race as well. And then 2 weeks it is Richmond. So how has your preparation gone for those last 2 races?
I'll show up the day of and run it.
All right, fair enough.
But no, I might practice since it's championship race. I'm sure everybody else will be. And, it really comes down to those 2 races. So really anybody can, the 4 drivers, anybody can win. So that's always an exciting time during the season, and look forward to it.
And we also look forward to it as well. Before we go ahead and let you go, shout who gets it done for you for that number 8.
Yeah, my family, you for doing the broadcast. Great job. League admins for putting this show on and everything they do behind the scenes. Sponsors for helping us out. Race Control, keeping an eye on us, and the drivers and everybody watching tonight. Thank you.
We thank you for your time as well. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations once again on your race win this season. Well, this week.
Thanks.
McCann in the number 8, and we don't necessarily have a graphic for this.
I'm out.
Say this.